Guys, so I have about 2 pounds of cranberries over here, and they're fresh cranberries. They're not frozen. You could use frozen ones if you want, but I just found these fresh ones at the store. And I also split open 1 pomegranate. I kind of split it open horizontally, so you see where the top is. I'm going to split it like the opposite direction of that. I also have 2 jars for when I start canning. But basically what I'm going to do is, for every pound of cranberries, you're going to need about 1 quart of water. And I'm gonna use 2 quarts of water for these 2 pounds of cranberries, and I'm gonna just put them in a pot with the water, and I'm gonna let them boil for about 15-20 minutes, just until the berries pop open. And at that point the water is gonna turn red, and then you can kind of put in sugar in it or whatever sweeteners that you want to add. You could leave it plain, but the most important thing is that you let it simmer for around 20 minutes. So after everything is done boiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit in the pot and the sweetener for a little while. At that point, I'm going to while this is boiling, I'm going to clean my pomegranate. What you're going to do to this, you can do it 2 ways. You can either put it in the pot with these cranberries, or you can blend it on the side with a little bit of water and then add it into this mixture before you strain it. You're definitely going to want to use something that's like super fine to strain it, and if you don't have a super fine strainer, then there are these little cheesecloth things that you can get off Amazon for like $4. So after everything is done boiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit in the pot and the sweetener for a little while. Guys, so I took apart my pomegranate and it's just chilling out here for now. What I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to put it into this Ninja cup blender with a little bit of water, and I'm going to blend it up and set it aside. After that, I'm going to wait until these cranberries are done popping. Once they start popping, they'll probably all pop by the time 10 minutes is up. And what I'm going to do after that, you might want to like cover them, because when they start popping, they're going to start popping all at the same time. But yeah, after they're done, I'm going to go ahead and put them in another blender, like a larger blender, and I'm going to blend them up with their water, and then I'm going to strain them along with the pomegranate seeds. That way we get everything together, and it's like all the flavors are going to marry together and all that good stuff. What I did do, though, I added the juice of 2 lemons and about 2 spoons of sugar, just to sweeten it up. Okay, so you can see that these actually started popping, and like there's one right there that's like popped right open. But basically when the foam starts coming out, then that means that we're getting closer. I had to transfer it to a bigger pot because the other one was starting to overfill because it started boiling. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it on for another 10 minutes. And I decided that I'm gonna wait until it cools down completely before I put it through the blender and then strain it and then put this through the blender too. I guess when the cranberries cool down, I'll just add the pomegranate to them and then let them sit with each other and then blend them. So you're probably gonna want to let it all cool down for about an hour, just until it's cool enough so that it doesn't burn you when you open up the blender after you finish blending it. Okay, so I got impatient, like ladling it into the jar little by little. So what I did was I put this little strainer into this bowl, and then I just like poured the juice in. Eventually I got tired of holding this because it got really heavy. So now I'm just gonna let it like drain all day. But this is what it looks like after you ladle it in. You want to make sure that it's still kind of warm, just because you see this little button on the top, like that means that your jar is sealed, which means that you can leave this unopened for about 3 weeks. Obviously you don't want to open it up right after you built up that pressure inside, but you can open it up after it cools down in the fridge. So what I'm gonna leave this on the on the counter just until it cools tonight. After tonight, I'm gonna put it into the fridge. And it should be good for 3 weeks.